Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today we are back doing another Frightening Friday. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What is going on with this? Look, I had my hair up. I have a hairband, and I had my hair up and kind of like the pineapple type of thing, like the Ja Morant type thing. And you see, I had it like that, and then I took it down, and it was all sticking out. It was like this. And I was like, so how am I gonna record a video with my hair like that? I was like, well, I'm not. So what do? Do I put a hood on? Put a hood on doesn't work. What does work are do-rags. Now my hair is just this long, so it has to, like, I can't do anything about it. So it's gonna be in my face. I'm gonna have to look at you, because if I look at you guys like this, I can barely see the camera. But if I do like this, I can see you guys. So I'm gonna be looking like this with my head kind of up. I'm sorry guys, it is what it is. Anyway, let's get into this Frightening Friday.
Are you irresponsible with all your money or not? Acting tough up on the net, so we went to a spot. There was money everywhere and a couple of so we robbed the place, didn't let off a shot. Coming in and rapping and packing and never lacking, and my guns are always double, put a tag in your toe. I come in with the action, a criminal, Michael Jackson, be smooth on the track with all of my flows.
Alright guys, so the first video that we're going to be watching today is called Screams from the Golden Arches. It was uploaded by the one and only depraved mastermind Meatcanyon. Let's get into it.
It's time. Come, Thomas, you'll want to see this.
Oh my God.
A female grimace, yes. And she's pregnant with 3 pups.
Ew. And you already know, we watching a Meatcanyon video, so this is about to show her giving birth. Watch, mark my words. Mock? Is it Mock or Mark? Either one. My words.
Now, the female Grimeye go into heat only once in their life cycle, and every McDonald's has at least one female, but the males are exceedingly rare. In fact, the last known bull grimace died this year. Do you know what that means? It means if she doesn't produce a male, the species is doomed. Cervix dilation, 12 centimeters. She's ready. 15 months of gestation, but she's ready now to bring her litter of Grimeye pups into the world.
This is making me uncomfortable, bro. So you just gonna have female booty cheeks? Is out?
Damn it. It's gone breech. Quickly, Thomas, before we lose it. Come on, breathe, breathe!
Ew, dude.
It's beautiful.
It's gonna be a female.
Fine bull.
A male. Male.
Oh, it's a male? Is that blood? He licked it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the McRib is back.
Hey, just to let you know I can't work next Wednesday. My grandma died.
Oh, okay, I'll update the schedule, but please try to let me know 2 weeks ahead of time.
Well, I didn't know she would pass away. I have no real way of controlling that, so...
No, I know, but I'm just letting you know.
That has got to be the worst Meatcanyon video that we have ever watched. and I'm never eating a McRib ever again.
Had to smash up, pass up, natural disaster.
Alright guys, so the next video we are watching is called 162 Horror Stories Animated Compilation 2020. Now this video is actually 9 hours long, so you know we're not watching the whole thing. But today we are watching the one called I Met a Girl in the Club and It Became an Unforgettable Nightmare. And this was uploaded by 1C Entertainment. Let's get into it.
I was 20 at the time when this happened. I still remember this as a vivid memory in my brain that would never get erased. One day, I was at a club with a few friends. I saw a cute girl, which was totally my type at first glance. She had blonde hair and deep brown eyes.
Okay.
Her nose was tiny and cute. Her lips were red like a rose. I approached her and I asked if she wanted a drink or something. She said yeah, and we drank a lot. She told me to come by her place. I hesitated at first, but soon I agreed. I told my friends that I was leaving early, and we booked a cab. We got in the cab, and 15 minutes later, we arrived at her house.
You're getting murdered.
Her apartment had a 2-floor. Nothing special, but just normal. We stepped inside, and all of a sudden, I smelled something rotten. I got a bit nauseous and asked her if I could use the bathroom. She smiled and said yes. I rushed in, and as I did, the smell got stronger. That's where the smell was coming from. At first, I didn't pay attention and puked into the sink.
Into the sink, bro? Not even the toilet?
I drunk a bit too much.
Come on, cuz.
It was not. Just then, I heard a splash of water right beside the bathtub. I turned and opened the shower curtain, and then what I saw made my heart drop.
Body.
A dead body of a boy around mutilated was lying in the bathtub obliquely. As I got closer, I realized that his right leg was cut off too.
Ooh.
I was freaked out. I wanted to scream, but it didn't come out. But I decided not to go outside because she might be a psychopath killer and could kill me too.
Bro, if you don't fight her,
I tried to find an escape.
Look, people, I don't condone hitting women. But if you're in a life or death situation,
then I spotted something that I wasn't expecting. A small pocket knife stuck out from his jean pocket. I cautiously took the knife and flicked the door open. There was no one outside, and only that girl was sitting on the steps. I asked her what was in the bathtub, and suddenly, her expression got different. She flashed a maniac grin, and then she took out something from her back. A knife.
Bro.
All of a sudden, she lunged toward me, but I dodged it. I took out my knife and swung around as soon as she came to me and kicked her. She let out a scream as she fell to the ground. I heard some noise upstairs, but I wasn't going to check that out. I sprinted out the door and ran 2 blocks straight without stopping, and then called the cops. The cops searched the whole house and arrested 3 people, all charged for murdering innocent young boys. Then I took a cab back to my house. I called and told my parents about this incident. I wasn't able to sleep that night at all. This was the scariest I've ever experienced. And who knew what would have happened if I didn't find that knife?
Fire! Fire! That man wasn't a typical horror idiot. And he did I just spit on y'all? That's crazy.
Had to smash up, pass up, natural disaster.
Alright guys, so the next video that we are watching is called 14 Horror Stories Animated, compilation of 2015, and it was uploaded by Llama Arts. We obviously are not watching the whole 52-minute thing. We are watching the first story, which is called Toyota Camry. Let's get into it.
I was looking for a car to buy for my son for his 18th birthday. I was searching all the typical car websites, cars.com, eBay Motors. They were all overpriced as expected.
Don't go to Craigslist.
Craigslist was the only place to find an ad.
Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much.
Man, I done heard too many stories about people going to Craigslist to buy cars.
Actual deal. About a week into my search, I found an 03 Toyota Camry. It had 67,000 miles, no accidents, no damage, and good condition for only $3,500. This seems like a steal for such a reliable car with such low mileage. The seller lived about 10 miles from me, which was a reasonable drive when looking for a car.
Hey, my mama told me. She said, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. Remember that. Take those words of wisdom.
I gave him a call to set up a time to come check it out. The man sounded normal on the phone. He assured me that there were absolutely no problems with the car. He introduced himself as Bob. I brought along $3,500 in cash, even though I planned on wiggling down the price as much as possible. I pulled up the dirt road to Bob's property about 15 minutes early.
Okay, maybe not a gun, maybe a knife. A knife.
A decent-sized property, only because I was a bit far from the nearest neighbors. The garage was open, so I walked over to see if anybody was inside. But except for an unusual amount of car parts, it was empty.
You drove there, you don't got anybody with you.
The only car on the property was an old pickup truck. I went over to the front door to check the house numbers. It was the right address. The doorbell button was missing, so I knocked on the front door. I knocked for exactly 5 minutes before deciding to give the man a call. So I dialed his number and I heard the sound of a cell phone ringing from inside the house. I was extremely confused at this point. Now I knew I had the right house.
Get in the car.
I didn't understand why, if he was home, why he wasn't answering.
Get in the car.
I decided I had to take a peek through one of the windows to see if anybody was inside.
Nah, you just leave.
Peering through the glass, I couldn't really see much as it was pretty dark inside the house. I saw a very old-fashioned dining room set, but across from that, I saw somebody standing at the back door of the house, staring outside. I figured that must have been Bob, so I knocked on the window, but he didn't even move. There was no gate or anything to the backyard. It was just a wide open yard, since this wasn't a rural area. I simply walked around the house to the backyard.
Dude.
I didn't understand how he couldn't hear me. When I got to the back door, I made a shocking realization. The figure standing by the door was a taxidermied human being. I ran straight back the way I came and back to my car. I looked up one last time before driving off. The blinds to the window I had peeked into had been shut, but I could see two of the blinds bent open. Somebody was at that window watching me. You can probably guess I had the gas pedal to the floor the whole way home.
Oh no,
the whole
bro.
situation still makes no sense. All the car parts, the fact that there was no Toyota Camry, the taxidermied human being. The fact that there was no car there leads me to believe that whoever that man wasn't planning on selling me anything. And that also leads to the disturbing thought that I was very close to becoming a lifeless statue staring out that man's back door.
Nah, bro. Not gonna lie, Llama, y'all could have hit us with the nastiest jump scare at the end.
Had to smash up, pass up, natural disaster.
Alright guys, so this next one is called Almost 1 Hour of Scary Animated Stories 2018 Compilation, and it was uploaded by Mort. I know we're doing a lot of compilations this video. That's just what's popping up in the recommended. I'm sorry guys. And we are gonna be watching the second story because the first story is the McDonald's story from a Corey Kenshin Spooky Scary Sunday. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. Come on now. And then, so we're gonna be watching the second story.
It was my first Halloween living in my own house away from my parents. I live in a small corner house with a basement but no upstairs, a house my parents paid half for. It was 11 o'clock at night. I was sitting in the living room watching scary Halloween movies when I found myself getting up to answer a knock at the door. But then I stopped and thought,
I love this animation
at 11
style.
p.m. Surely there were no more trick-or-treaters out. I had a pretty good feeling it was a late-night Halloween ding-dong ditcher, so I gave it a second, then I shot a glance to the porch through the window. They were gone already. Yup, ding-dong ditchers. I sat back down, not thinking twice about it, and again, knocking at the front door.
Get a gun.
Get lost, I yelled. I was not in the mood for punky kids. They ignored my demands and started pounding now, not just knocking. I was pissed now. I leaped up and swung the door open. No one was there once again. I slipped on my shoes and headed outside to begin searching the bushes for the kids.
Ooh.
But there was nobody in sight.
Did you see him
Not
behind
in
the tree?
bushes, not behind my car, not across the street.
Oh, there's another one.
I was done answering. I didn't want to feed into their fun anymore, so I went back inside, double-locked the door, and went to my bedroom, also locking that door, just to feel safer, I guess. Even
smart.
over the TV, I could still hear the stupid kids pounding on my front door repeatedly. I was so close to calling the cops to get them away.
Do it.
That would undoubtedly lead to my house being egged or teepeed. The pounding continued for an uncomfortably long time, more than half an hour.
Bro.
I thought these kids must be filming something for YouTube and were desperate for a reaction, but I wasn't going to give it to them. At some point I dozed off with the TV on, only to wake up to the knocking again. I looked at the clock. It was 2 in the fucking morning. How could those kids still be at it, I thought.
For real.
I turned the TV off and sat up with my ears open. For a few moments, my heart completely stopped as I realized the knocking was not at my front door, but rather at my bedroom door.
What?
I jumped out of bed, looking around my room like a madman for something to use as a weapon. They knew I was awake now. They were trying the doorknob, trying to bust down the door. These weren't any kids. By some miracle, I came up with an idea. It was a long shot, but it was all I could think of. I turned on the receiver to my speaker system, plugged in my iPhone, brought up the YouTube app, typed in 45 gunshot sound effect, turned on the volume and pressed play. The sound of a gunshot echoed out of the speakers. It sounded real enough. I paused the video after the first shot and yelled, "That was a warning shot. Leave now or I won't hesitate to shoot you in the head." And it worked. I heard 2 pairs of footsteps stomping over my wood floors and out the front door.
Smart.
I gave it a moment before opening my bedroom door and peeking outside. They were gone, but the front door was left wide open. I quickly shut it, called the police, and that's where my story ended.
Smart, bro. Smart. See, this episode we getting some good freaking protagonists, bro. We're getting some good ones.
Had to smash up, pass up, natural disaster.
Alright guys, and the last one for this week is called 3 Airplane Horror Stories Animated, and we are only going to be watching one. And it was uploaded by Dr. No Sleep. Let's get right into it.
Dr. Nicely.
I'm sorry, sir.
Hold on. Man, your intro is fuego.
But there's no way I can change your seating at this point. It's a full flight. The airline worker says to me. She stands behind her desk, looking down at her computer. Our original flight was canceled, I say, pleading with her. This was the next available flight, but we didn't have the option to choose our own seats like we did on the original flight. There's absolutely nothing you can do? The lady looks up at me from her computer. I'm sorry, sir. If I could seat you next to your girlfriend, I would. It looks like you're only a couple of rows away from each other. Maybe you can ask someone to switch with you on the plane. The
Smart.
stress of the last week sits on me like a monkey with a knife, digging around in my skull. I can feel myself
I've never
slipping,
heard that one before.
but the last thing I want to do here is make a scene. So I grumble to the woman in the blue uniform and head back to the crowded seating area. I shake my head as I approach Sandra. She gives me a...
Yeah? You want to say hi?
Personality type. No, because I look ugly.
I'm leaving that in.
And I'm fat. So
I'm leaving that in too. They can't see you though because of the door.
No, okay. All right. But it's all good. Have fun.
Alright. Gotta love your dad.
a sad smile, which does nothing to conceal the worry in her eyes. It's completely full, I tell her. They can't do anything for us. She reaches over and takes my hand, her touch making all the stress worth it. I look into her brilliant green eyes, set in the most beautiful face I've ever seen. Her raven-colored hair frames, and her angelic features give contrast
Boy, if you
to
don't...
her smooth, pale skin. I love you, I say to her. I love you too, she says. I know she means it. We kiss, a gesture that's cut short by the boarding call for our flight. Our number is called shortly, and we stand up to get in line with all the other passengers. I'll ask whoever sits next to you if we can switch, I say once we have our tickets and passports checked. Oh, it's okay, Frank, she says, waving a hand. Nothing's going to happen. Don't worry so much. There's nothing to do but sit and wait for the plane to take us to our new life. I think about all the preparation I've done to get us here. Still, it would make me feel better if we sat together. But I find it hard to refuse Sandra anything. Are you sure? I ask her. Yes, it's fine, she says. It could be better this way, you know? It looks like we're not traveling together. I nod. She's right. I let her go ahead of me.
This guy's the villain, bro.
I scan the faces of the people already in seats, looking for what? I don't know. Some recognition, a hard stare, something. But I don't see anything like that. Just a bunch of people getting settled, reading books, or messing with their phones. I'm in a middle seat on the right side of the plane.
This guy's
Sandra
the bad guy.
is in a window seat 3 rows behind me, on the left side of the plane. I'm comforted to see an old woman sitting next to her, and a middle-aged woman in the aisle seat. As is my luck, I get stuck between an old man on my left and a particularly large young woman on my right. I can already tell the old man's going to be a talker. He has that look in his eye as he sits down next to me. Once I'm settled, I turn in my seat and look over my shoulder. I can just see the top half of Sandra's head. She sees me, stretches up in her seat, smiles, and gives a thumbs up. I smile back, starting to relax for a change.
Put your
I can't
seatbelt on.
believe it. This is really happening. I'm with the love of my life, heading off to Europe to live the life I've always wanted. I smile as the old man next to me asks me my name. I start chatting with him, asking him questions about his life, and listening to the rambling replies with a sense of calm I welcome wholeheartedly. Once we're in the air, I find that sense of calm expanding even more as the stress of the last 7 days melts away. My mind drifts toward things we'll do as we travel around Europe, money no longer a problem. I find that I'm incredibly tired. I've been so concerned with getting this trip underway and all the other things that entailed that I haven't slept much. Soon enough, we're cruising high above the Atlantic, and the flight attendants are serving food and drinks. I order a gin and tonic and enjoy a chicken wrap as the in-flight meal. The alcohol and food combine in my stomach, making me pleasantly groggy. I turn in my seat once again and see that Sandra has her head propped back against the seat and her eyes are closed. I gaze at her for a long moment, unable to believe my luck. What did I do to deserve a woman like this? I don't know, but I'm not going to question it.
This guy's a bad guy,
into
bro.
my seat and tell the man to my left that I'm going to get some sleep. It's a long flight, and sleep is just what I need. I close my eyes and drift off almost immediately. I jolt awake as someone touches my arm. "Sir," the flight attendant says, "please bring your seat back up. We're making our descent into London." I do as I'm told, stretching my stiff neck and wiping the sleep from my eyes. I look back at Sandra, seeing that she's still asleep. We land without incident. It's nighttime, but the massive Heathrow airport is well lit. I look past the woman to my right, gazing out the window as we taxi. Once we're at the terminal, everyone gets up and starts to file out of the plane in the typical slow fashion. I sit in my seat, waiting until everyone ahead of us leaves. I decide to wait for Sandra so we can walk off together. So I cross the aisle once the opposite row is empty so the lady next to me can get out. I look back, expecting to see Sandra standing there, but she's not. Of course, there are people standing in the way, so I shrug it off. The old woman and the middle-aged woman that were sitting next to Sandra move off the plane. They both look at me as they go, smiling strangely. I notice a small, dark stain on the old woman's sweater as she walks past in the aisle, turning her head to smirk at me. At the last second, she throws a phone down on the seat next to me. My throat thickens. My breathing grows ragged. I ignore the phone, turning around to look at Sandra now that there's no one in the way. She's still sitting in the seat, her eyes closed and head resting on the seat back. But something seems off. I can't place it, but I know something is terribly wrong. I lunge into the aisle, crashing into a man in a suit. "Watch it, Frank," he says as I squeeze past him. I barely even notice he's there. Other people move out of the way as I scramble back toward the woman I love. "Sandra," I say. "Sandra?"
Put the
There's
blanket
a thin,
on, bro.
dark blanket tucked under her chin.
Why is she smiling now, bro?
Concealing her upper body and the seat. Now that I'm up close, I can see that Sandra's skin is sallow, the texture of candle wax in a humid room. I reach toward her, gripping her by the shoulders through the thin blanket. The movement jars her, and her head comes forward. For one moment, I think she's waking up. But her head keeps going, her chin hitting her chest as her head tumbles off her neck into her lap. I scream, only now seeing what the blanket previously concealed. The drying blood coating her clothes and soaking into the seat back. In an insane act of grief, I grab her severed head in both hands and bring it to my face, placing my hot forehead against her cold one as the tears spill out of my eyes. A woman screams behind me in the aisle, seeing the gory scene. The businessman's words from moments ago echo in my head. "Watch it, Frank," he said. I now remember seeing him sitting directly behind Sandra, and the two women sitting in the row with her. Fury builds in me, and I put Sandra's head back down in her lap like I'm setting a fragile vase on a stand. I rush back into the aisle, the small group of people still left on the plane looking at me with fear and disgust. As I start down the aisle to find the man and the two women, a phone rings next to me. The phone the old woman threw down when she passed. I answer it, already knowing who it will be.
"You thought you could run away with my wife?"
the harsh voice says over the phone.
"With my money. I trusted you, Frank. I treated you like a brother. You think I can't buy a half-dozen seats on a plane and put my people in them?"
I listen to my former boss and the most dangerous man I know, but no words come to me.
"Nothing to say for yourself?"
he asks.
"Fine. My associates will see you in jail. Enjoy your last few days on Earth."
The line goes dead. I drop the phone back into the seat just before a police officer tackles me to the floor from behind. I barely notice as the cuffs go on. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Not without Sandra.
Bro, that one was good. Whoa. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button. If you didn't like it, be sure to comment down below. Tell me what I can do better. KXK Better Upload Week is now finished. I know that I missed a video, and this one's gonna be coming out late. So, sorry guys, but hey, we did our best. But More Extension Dog did finish it, so go check out his stuff. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Deuces.